North Carolina is considered a swing state by analysts, meaning that its 15 electoral votes could go to either party. So we're talking 13 congressional districts and 15 total representatives in Washington, D.C. There has been activity in North Carolina on both sides of the political spectrum within state lines. President Trump visited my town of Mills River today as a location spot for the Republican National Convention. Now, Mills River is a small western North Carolina mountain town with roughly a population of 7,000 some residents. So President Trump spoke at a Farmers to Families Food Box Food Program event, which I would like to add is quite significant considering the local food issues across the board. This particular program, however, is part of the recent coronavirus farm assistance program that allowed for the purchase and the distribution of agricultural products to the communities that are experiencing food insecurity. I would like to add that I think that political conversation that includes rural America needs to focus on the significance of locations like a small mountain town and a 501c3 food organization, because there is a lot to just unpack just there. So why is it significant that the Republican National Convention would host an event at this particular facility? Well, because they're connecting to voters, right? So they're connecting to the average American who is experiencing issues and has been experiencing issues that impact their basic living needs, food in this instance, right? So I would want to add that figures show that about 15% of rural households across the country have uncertain access to adequate food. I mean, it's important to understand that rural areas are very different than metropolitan areas because of the lack of job opportunities. Households in rural America have not yet recovered from the recession, that they experienced almost a decade ago. And now, in addition to the economic impact of COVID-19, food insecure households are pushed further into vulnerable situations, and that is the reality. It is also important to acknowledge that these food insecure homes also experience low wages that are not enough to cover their basic necessities. And of course, with a lack of public transportation and affordable childcare, we are now noticing across the country, it makes it very difficult for an average American household to survive. So these, again, are the realities. And the Trump campaign is acknowledging these realities by at least reaching out to the folks in areas like Western North Carolina, where almost 30% of school children are part of a discounted or free lunch program. In areas where broadband internet is still not a reality, school boards in my area are doing the best by ensuring that at least, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.-ish, students have Wi-Fi access through school buses that are strategically parked in areas where households that lack internet connection exist. So again, these are some of the very unfortunate truths that impact voters and potential voters' everyday life. So if candidates, I would say, can connect to these voters, and I mean candidates down the party ticket, by acknowledging that these problems exist and by offering viable solutions. And we know that, once you engage the voter, you win voters. And once you win voters, you win elections. So it's quite a simple strategy on paper, but sometimes it's lost on local campaigns.